How's it going?
Okay, great. It's nice to meet you. I think we're just going to introduce ourselves. So I'm Heather from SM Bomb Blogs, and I've got a 10-year-old boy, and I'm an online teacher and I'm a blogger. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm a little bit
Nice.
confused where you live.
Yeah, I'm originally from Amsterdam.
Okay. So you're from
I Yeah, from the Netherlands.
uh-huh.
I've Before I moved to South Africa about 1.5 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Miami for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got back to Amsterdam, but I don't really like the Netherlands because of the weather.
Yeah.
And then I met my girlfriend, and she's from South Africa. She's from
Oh,
Hermanus.
okay. All right.
And then she said, "Why don't you come to South Africa?" I'm like, "Okay." And then I booked a flight for 7 days, and I never left. I did,
Okay.
of course. I did travel back and forth, but I applied for my visa and experienced load shedding. First time I experienced load shedding. I was like, "What is this?" Because yeah, to give a bit of a background, I have a couple online and offline businesses. Most of
Mm-hmm.
them are online, and yeah, having no internet or no power is crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it
Uh,
is. It's like so foreign to the first world to come here, and just and we're also used to it. Um, yeah.
it's something when I explain it to people outside of South Africa, they're like, "What are you telling me? What? No power?" I'm like,
uh,
"Yeah, that's a real thing." But luckily, yeah, I'm trying to get more data on that. But luckily, I don't have load shedding. I don't
okay.
know why, but apparently, I'm on the embassy grid from the I'm in Sandton, and the embassy is right next to me.
You're
And
so lucky.
apparently, I have no load shedding. So I did experience load shedding for like the first 2 weeks when we were waiting for our apartment.
Yeah.
Uh, That was in Houten.
Mm.
So I experienced it, and then I was already like, "Yo, this is not real."
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but luckily I don't have load shedding right now. So, but I think
Okay.
it will change because I spoke to some people, and they said they're already working up to. We have to prepare the website already for load shedding up to stage 16.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in online. So I do have a lot of online businesses. I
Mm.
think you mentioned something about aftershocks. That was
Yeah, I was so impressed with
yeah.
that. It's so cool. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't really wear heels, so just would
Mhm.
not apply to me. But I can
Yeah.
understand if you're going out and you want to look nice and you've got the heels and then you're coming home and yeah, so that would definitely be a problem. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm more.
it was a nice venture. It
Yeah.
was a nice venture. It was a hobby project actually,
Mm,
but
mm,
we sold a couple 100,000 socks actually, and
mm,
then COVID hit. So it's for going out, and then when COVID hit, of course, all the clubs were closed, all the restaurants were closed, so people were
mm.
not really buying things for a
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
So that's when I kind of, I sold all the stock. We donated lots of socks and money
Mm,
to the people in need. And
mm.
then we said, you know what, I'll maybe restart this hobby project.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hobby project. It did very well. I mean, we
Mm,
sold like so many socks. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, if because COVID hit, it took like 2 years in the Netherlands, the clubs, and in the US as well.
Mm, mm,
They were closed for basically a year or longer.
mm,
So I was like, yeah, no, it's not worth it to promoting something
mm,
to
mm,
go out and
mm.
basically.
But
So
I
yeah,
think it
stopped.
was such a like an awesome thing you did, giving to people on the side of the road that needed shoes. And
Yeah,
and I also feel that's what you're doing here in South Africa. It's something that you are giving back to the country with this load shedding website, right?
yeah,
So I think it's quite awesome because I put the widget on my website and you can fill in
nice.
your suburb and you can get your schedule. And
Yeah,
I'll just also say it's the one app that I'm using that's very good. I think it's Load Shedding
notified.
Notifier. This
Totally
one with
notified.
the,
Yeah,
yeah, that one. And what's really crazy right now is because there's cable faults, they put us on a different suburb. So now I've got two suburbs, and you kind of know, okay, we're on this one until they fix the cables, and then we're going to go back to that one.
They're
It's been
crazy, huh?
crazy.
Yeah. I know the guys from load shedding notifier as well. We're
Yeah.
very friendly with each other because we're
Yeah.
basically doing all helping the same.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just like
But it's
Eskom's
such an amazing service. But how did the whole idea just get started? How did you sort of think, oh no, I really have to do something? What sort of was the thing that sort of, no, I really have to do something? What was the tipping point for you?
the funny thing was it kind of came so I had a I'm in like my other business is called Stockwire, which we are
Mm,
the biggest call it the investor awareness
mm,
marketing
mm,
company in North America. And because of that, I'm in a program where we get um, auction companies. So when companies might go bankrupt or they
mm,
get auctioned off, I get the opportunity to buy them out. Funny enough, my broker from the US had loadshotting.com.
okay.
And that was in February. He had January, February. I was like, what? But nobody knows, of course, what load shedding is, and he uses
Yeah.
US broker. So the US broker obviously didn't know what load shedding was.
Mm,
So they said, well, it goes to for auction. But I was like, wait, nobody knows what it is now
mm,
in the US. And but if this name, gets auctioned off and South African companies will see that, they will definitely bid, and it will be a bidding war. So I told my broker, like, hey, listen, it's a good domain name, it has some traffic, I'll pay you this
mm,
for it. And
mm,
then he said, you know what? That's fine. It's a lot. I said, but I knew that it would go for much,
mm,
much more
mm, mm,
if it
mm,
would be auctioned off to South African
mm, mm,
companies. So I got the domain name, and then I was like, hey, wow. So now what? We have this load shedding problem. You have the app Eskom's a push. You have the
mm,
load shedding notifier,
mm,
but you don't really have a good web app.
mm,
And
mm,
the problem, I spoke to load shedding notifier, and I think Dan, I have a meeting with him later actually
mm,
from
mm,
Eskom's. He said in an interview as well that the problem with having a web app is that you can send notifications like you
yeah,
get
yeah,
on your.
yeah, yeah.
You can, but it's really expensive.
Mm,
Then
mm,
on top of that, it's also so loadshedding.com now costs me a lot of money, to be
mm,
honest,
mm,
because
mm,
it's a free website,
mm,
and you imagine the traffic that's coming from South Africa. Because if somebody goes online, if
mm,
there's
mm,
loading starting at 4 o'clock,
mm,
you have tens of thousands of people checking the load shedding schedule at
mm,
once.
mm, mm,
With the app, it's they decided to do an app instead of a web app because that kind of takes off the load of the server. Because if you download the app on your phone, it doesn't really cost them anything anymore, not as much as
mm,
for my thing, the website. You Every time you load the website, it basically costs money, and that doesn't matter if it's about a couple hundred visitors a day or a couple thousand visitors a day. But you'll see, it's growing so quickly. You're talking
mm.
about millions per month, and
Okay.
sometimes you pay.
So it
So
costs you to
then,
keep it up, yeah.
yeah, and yeah, that's one of the well, not a problem. What's the things I ran into why they wouldn't want a web app is
Mm,
because of this thing,
mm,
but. Then I spoke to nation's biggest publisher, which we might have a partnership with soon, and
mm,
they said, hey, we're interested in working with you. And I asked why, why would you work with me instead of an app? They
mm,
say, well, it's very funny that you asked that because our data shows that unfortunately 60% of the people in South Africa, their phone is too old
mm,
to actually download these apps
mm,
because you need
mm,
the latest
mm.
iOS, the latest
Okay.
Android version.
Yeah, good point.
It's yeah, and
Mm,
they are the biggest publisher in the nation. They have like 26 websites,
okay.
and their data shows that actually only a small percentage of their visitors is coming through their app,
Hmm.
and the rest is all coming through the web app,
Okay.
web-based website, and that is because they can access a website. So they can access loadshedding.com. They cannot access load shedding notifier, unfortunately,
Mm, mm,
or push. So
okay.
that's why I figured, oh wait, there's a big need. There's a really big need for this website because then at least everybody has the ability to check the load shedding schedules.
Mm, mm,
So I was like, you know what, I'll build it. So I built it, I think in 3 months. And yeah, people like it. The only thing is though, yeah, we cover like 95% of the area.
Yeah.
that one area you were talking about, Port Elizabeth.
Mm.
Yeah, I knew there was some things missing, but then I looked at it yesterday,
We just
and they
have to
were
be different and have a different cycle. Yeah,
like
just
really, yeah,
mess you
it's
up.
a 19-day cycle. It makes no sense too. I was like, what? You know,
But it's good to
it's
know now. I just wondered what was the pattern because, yeah, so okay, it's a 19-day cycle. All right, that's good to know.
19-day cycle, but it changes every 3 months as well. So you
Oh,
cannot.
okay.
I,
Wow.
I could, for example, I could put it in the system right now for the
Mm.
next 19 days,
Mm.
but that's when the error becomes because then it's
Okay.
like
Then they're going to
now.
change again. Oh, geez,
Yeah,
that is just not
yeah.
not good. But
It could,
okay,
it
I
could,
want to ask you, Joel, how do you access the web app? How do you actually set that up? Just briefly, easily. I don't know if you can
yeah. So
explain
you
that.
so you either use your computer or
Mm.
your phone, and you could just go to loadshedding.com,
Yeah.
and that so you don't have to download anything. You
Mm,
just
mm,
type it in,
mm.
then you type in your suburb,
Yes.
and you click on your suburb, and then you get the load shedding times.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now I've also done it from the widget in my site. Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
it works
Then you
that
get a
way as well. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I think what is really interesting that kind of sets you apart from all these other apps as well is that you're not just giving the schedule, but you're also giving news. And I think,
yeah.
for I don't know about other people, but for me to understand why something is happening is actually it's helpful. And that's why I actually bought that book, under Narrators about the truth to power. I really
Right.
wanted to understand the whole thing behind why we're having so many problems. So if you
Mm.
are delivering news as well, about why, so many whatever substations are now collapsing or whatever, it's
Yes.
actually helpful to understand why the power is going off. So I think that's also what sets you apart because you're doing blog posts and you're doing news and you're getting the sort of the reason why things are happening, and that's is helpful for South Africans dealing with all these power cuts to know, okay, this is why
Mhm.
it's happening. One thing I was really interested in is that you had an article about family togetherness during load shedding. So I think that is one of the, almost a positive thing, that you can use a power cut, to spend time with your family. Is there
Mhm.
anything else that you wanted to say about that? The sort of the blogging side of it, because that's what I'm interested as well, putting out all these
Yeah,
blog
yeah.
posts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically
Mm,
the blog is a very big part of the site actually. Yeah,
mm,
of course,
mm,
people immediately search for the schedules, they find the schedules, and
mm,
then they
mm,
see, hey, there's also news to read more about what's happening, the corruption, because sometimes, or even I think yesterday it came out they stole like huge amounts of oil from a station.
oh my
Like
goodness, yeah.
people when we hear that news, we of course report it.
Mm,
It's a very big part of the website, and yeah, we see with the engagement that it's necessary because you can find it on the other news websites, but this is just
mm,
focused on load shedding,
mm,
anything
mm,
to do with Eskom, load shedding, yeah, anything electricity related, and it's doing very well.
mm.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, every day something happens. So either multiple times a day or at least once a day, there's the mess up somewhere. Either
Yeah.
something breaks down or and Eskom's a push, or sorry, Eskom itself. Yeah, Eskom's a push doesn't directly report any news. They just
Mm, mm,
repost it from the Eskom Twitter, and that's quite strange. But
mm,
Eskom, the only way to find out the load shedding stage and the load shedding news is through Eskom's Twitter.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
there's no, even their website from Eskom, it's delayed. So if
Yeah.
you look at it probably
Yeah,
says
I've actually
okay,
where we live in a nearby suburb and in Walmer there's a lady that's taken it on herself. She has two load shedding groups for the area and she actually reposts all those Twitters and I've even though I've moved suburbs, I've stayed on her group just so that I can see those Twitter things. I think she
yeah,
follows hashtag load shedding. So
yeah,
whatever
probably.
else she's just posting the whole time and it really, I don't know, on some level actually understands why we've gone to a worse stage because of this thing, you know, and some it just makes you feel better on some level. I don't know why.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's true, and that's, I
There's
think,
some
what
sense of control. I don't know.
yeah, I think that's something Eskom's pushed it very well. I'm not sure about the name of it, but they have an app in their load shedding app, which is called something with Street, where
Mm.
people can actually chat with each other in their neighborhood and see
Okay,
like,
yeah,
is it an outage, is it load shedding, or is it a
yeah.
breakage or
Yeah.
anything? So that kind of helps as well because yeah,
Yeah, all but most neighborhood groups are like that, you know. Because before your power goes out, you don't check your mains, you check the phone, like you check the neighborhood group. Is everyone else's power out? Okay, we know it's not me, you know. Okay, the
yeah,
other thing that you do on your website is you have some power alternatives for people wanting to, like for myself, being an online teacher, I've got an inverter that actually helps me.
yeah.
And it really, yeah, I'd be absolutely lost without it. Can you tell us about, what kind of power alternatives you've got?
Yeah.
Or
So
just,
actually, we're working right now.
mm,
So I'm trying. So what I figured out is that we get lots of requests, like hundreds per day,
mm,
of
mm,
people wanting to have a load shedding solution.
mm,
What I found out in the last 3 months is that unfortunately, 99% of the people can't afford it.
mm.
Then I
But
spoke with a
most
company.
people can afford an inverter or, something like that because we can't do solar panels because that's too much, but just an inverter just to keep you over those 2 hours to keep you working, keep your
Yeah.
internet going. Yeah.
But then I spoke with a company
Mm,
uh, that said, "Hey, well, you run into this problem. We have a solution." I was like, "Okay, tell me." They said,
mm.
"Well, we have the solution where you pay, for example, 2,000 rand a month. You get a full solar system on your roof, and you get an inverter. Yeah, it's really nice." But
Kidding me. Wow. Is
yeah,
that true?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's true, and they're growing very big. But here's the big catch.
Mm,
Um, so I was like, okay, fine. Well, that's the
mm,
best solution because 99% of people
mm,
I
mm,
speak with, they don't have the because you have to pay it up front.
mm,
They don't have the 20 grand for a good inverter, or
mm,
they don't want to spend it. That could be true too.
mm,
But they do like to spend 2,000 a month, to get a
mm,
full off-grid solar system. Um, then next problem came in, and that is the credit check. So they have such high rules, the bank they
mm,
work with, that
mm,
99% of those people, again, were didn't get to the credit check. So
mm, mm,
I just spoke earlier. That's why I was a little later. I
mm,
spoke earlier with a friend of mine here, and we're now trying to, and this is really exciting. We're trying to make an inverter which is affordable, so around 5,000 rand, only
mm,
5,000,
mm,
and it's also it will have a 3-year warranty. So that's very new because
mm,
most of the batteries will die after 9 months,
mm,
especially when
mm,
it's like
mm,
that cheap,
mm, mm, mm.
So we're working on an actual like loadshedding.com product that
Okay.
we can sell to everybody, and help them with like a 500 watt inverter that at
Mm,
least keeps their let's say fridge or
mm,
uh, the necessary things on.
mm.
Because yeah, we see that there's such a big need for it.
Yeah,
There's such
but I have to say
and
my dream is definitely solar panels. That is my dream. That is my goal. And one day I'm gonna get it. My
you should look
mom,
into
my
it.
mom bought it, cost her about 80, 90,000. I don't know exactly how
Yeah,
much, but she's
yeah.
got a very small, it's just herself, but she did it. And if there's ever a blackout, I'm going to my mom.
Yeah. So that's I spoke with I never know how to pronounce that
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Huawei, the Chinese Huawei. I think it's Huawei.
How way? I don't know. Yes, that's the
Huawei. Yeah.
computer I'm using right now. Yes.
Yeah. So I spoke with them, and they
Uh,
wanna, of course, they wanna sell their big inverter and solar panel
mm,
system
mm,
on
mm,
the
mm,
website. And yeah, like you said, it starts at 90,000,
mm, mm,
and with every 5 kilowatts, it adds another 40. So it's like if you want a decent one and you want off the grid completely,
mm,
you're looking at like 150 to 200,000 rand.
mm.
I think it's worth it because you do it once,
Yeah.
and your
I
warranty, and
suppose
you don't have a
it's like
problem.
buying a house. It's an investment in your house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's necessary. I mean, I couldn't live without the internet or internet
No,
or
no, you can't.
I know.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say to South Africans out there navigating these load shedding times? Some inspiration to keep us going?
Yeah, well, no, it's bad to say, but I think we just need to be prepared for some really shitty times because
Mm,
even though we had some lower load shedding the last 2, 3 weeks, that didn't, show how and what bad of a
yeah,
state,
it can get worse. Yeah.
well, it will get worse because they see the demand, and always these months, just a month ago,
Mm,
it's always the lowest demand in the whole year, apparently because also the big companies are selling their energy back in June and then beginning of July. So it was kind of it was kind of fake to say like, hey, load shedding was over. I think
mm,
even
mm.
Minister of Electricity said like, yeah, see, we're doing a good job. Well, everybody
We
now
don't
sees.
believe you.
Oh, but yeah, everybody sees now that it doesn't, it was just not luck. It was just,
Mm,
the stats, it would always happen that we would have
mm,
no load shedding in this month,
mm,
in this particular time frame. But now you see, they just said that I don't remember the name of one of the big units, the power stations, they're supposed to bring that back in, I think September. Well, they just said it won't be ready till next year, later next year, which means if you just do the calculation, in September, there is 2 units going offline. The 2 units the 1 unit that's supposed to be back is going offline,
mm,
won't
mm,
be back.
mm,
Meaning we have, well, I don't want to say the numbers, but you're gonna get like, if you just look at what's demand is and what they
mm,
have,
mm, mm.
it's even less than they never had that less of power, that amount of power.
Yeah,
It's like it's not enough.
yeah.
It's not even half enough. So the
Mm,
thing is, I would also stock up on inverters right now
mm,
because I think they're still a very good price. If you look at Take a Lot, you can find some very good deals on
mm,
cheap
mm,
inverters.
mm, mm.
I think by the time we're gonna hit stage 8 and even higher, those things you can get hold
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
So
It's
I would
better to do it
definitely
now. Yeah.
do it now because now is
Mm,
the best actually because they have lots of sale everywhere,
mm,
and you're gonna need it at some point
mm,
unless you just want to cope with like, yeah, so that's also a thing. If they're gonna introduce load shedding up to stage 16,
mm.
that means I think I read somewhere that you might be out of power um for like it could be like 36 hours. Like that's crazy. Like
Mm,
you can't
mm,
charge anything.
mm,
And if you don't have any power backup,
mm.
yeah, you basically have a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I would advise people to just look into the maybe save up already now to
Mm,
get a for the next year because they thought logic is going to be better in 2024. Well, what they say now with the unit is not coming back, that already
mm.
shows that it will get worse,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And I think us as South Africans, we've really learned to take care of ourselves and not rely on the government. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I've got my inverter going, which only really it doesn't really take me, in PE we just have those 2 hours,
Okay.
which is quite nice, and it can take me through that. It can even maybe it can. You see, with online teaching, it uses up a lot of electricity and that sort of thing. So I can't really push it longer than 3 hours. Could probably the internet can carry on going, but the demands of using the camera and all of that, it actually
Yeah.
uses up more of the battery and all that sort of thing. So yeah, longer than that, it's going to be a problem for me, which is why I've got that goal of the solar panels. One day I'm going to get there.
Look into that renting.
Mm,
It's like renting to buy because
yeah.
if you if you get through that credit check, which I
Mm,
think is
mm,
not
mm,
not that hard, but if
yeah.
if you get you basically have a solar system for
Mm.
under 2 grand a
Do
month,
they do it nationally, like throughout the whole country? Is it? Okay. No,
and they're
I
getting very
am
good.
interested. Yeah, I would just
Yeah,
investigate it first.
it's actually too good to be true.
Mm,
I
mm,
thought it also has a lifelong warranty.
okay.
They just made a very good deal with a bank that basically
Mm,
finances it.
Okay.
And that's why the credit check is
But
so so.
how many years are you paying that 2,000 rand off? Is it like
No, so you're not
20
paying. No,
years
yeah,
or something?
no. So you're not paying it off. So they take on the loan. So you don't.
Uh,
It's not a. You don't sign anything that you basically buying it. You're renting it from them. So
oh,
there
you
is. So
rent.
it's like,
So you're not
yeah. So
buying.
no, but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
paying 2,000 month,
Oh,
2,000 rand a month,
mm,
for as long as, let's say, load shedding takes 4 years,
mm,
and then it's gone.
mm,
Then you're like, okay, fine, I'm done with the renting, bye, and that's fine. I mean, there
yeah.
is probably there's some terms that you at least need it for 24 months
No,
because
I
they have
think I
a
would
credit
rather
slot.
buy, to be honest. I would rather buy, yeah. Because I don't totally believe that it's really going to go away. I would always rather invest in it. And then it actually adds value to your house as well, that you can say, because I've already got a water tank. So I'm
Mhm.
prepared. Down here, so we've got water problems as well. That's another issue. Yeah, so
That's
I just want to invest in my house. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. But
yeah.
that's
Unfortunately,
definitely an option. I would definitely consider it. Yeah.
yeah, I live in an apartment block,
Mm-mm,
so it's
mm.
the highest. We have no place where we could put the solar panels
Oh
because
no. What about a balcony or something? No?
yeah, you could do it on the balcony. But
Yeah.
then again, we're lucky with the
Mm.
embassy around the
Okay.
corners.
Yeah, so you
But
don't
yeah,
have the power, yeah, problems, yeah.
but there is something else which I'm not an expert in, but maybe
Mm.
you know. Um, there was something that you do have to pay if you want solar panels, right? There's some tax or fee. You cannot just put up solar panels
I don't know about that. I know
yeah,
at one time they were doing tax deductibles for, you might get some tax back if you put the solar
mhm.
panels up. But it was still, very, the whole thing was costing a lot anyway. So you weren't going to get so much back. Yeah. But no, I'm not sure about the fee.
Yeah, you need to apply for a license, I think, as well. It's not
Oh,
like,
no,
hey,
I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't
it
think you have to
depends on
do
the
that.
municipality, but there's
Mm.
some, if you want to sell it back or you get off the grid, because ESCOM needs to know how much power demand there is. And if you go off
Okay.
grid, you need to
Sure.
know, so you need a license. So yeah, but
Okay.
it depends, I think, on how many kilowatts you are actually generating. But
This is true. This is true.
yeah.
Anyway, Joel, it was so nice to meet you. And thank you so much for the service you're giving all of us in South Africa. And thank you for the depth of information in your website. And we'll definitely be checking that out and following you.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to put this together in a post and I'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.